once again to our Tech Gist, where we discuss anything tech and sometimes we go out of tech. And thank you for joining us today. And here I have with me my co-host Ayomide Olouro. I am Matthew Odo. Now today, last time we met, we talked about principle of design. We talk about how design process should go.
Yes.
And our host actually mentioned something on design principle. So today we are diving right into design principle. And my first question to my co-host is, how do you ensure your design maintain a strong visual hierarchy to guide the viewers' attention effectively?
All right. That's a dicey one there, but thank you so much for the question. Now, first of all, for many of us who are there and you don't know what hierarchy means, hierarchy is just like it's just like an emphasis placed on your design from what is most important to what is least important. That is, the most important things that you see in a particular design to the least important thing that you see in a particular design. So how do I now make this visually appealing, visually attentive, attention grabbing? Now, how I do that is, most of the time I use size. How does size comes in here? Now, in the case of hierarchy, just like I've said, it is when you emphasize on what is most important down to what is least important. Now, I use size to emphasize on what is most important. So things that I know I want you to really see first in the design, I use size to make use of it, to make it bold, to make it bigger to the eyes, and then from there I begin to what are least important, that is less important, I use size to decrease them and arrange them so well.
I also have a question so that our viewers will also understand what you are saying. Is it only size that you use to classify these hierarchies?
No, not just size. You can use size, you can use color, you can use contrast, you can use what's it called? Image. Thank you very much, sir. You can use image to create an hierarchy in your design. So it's not limited to size.
As you can see, there are many things you can use to create hierarchy. Can you give us a practical design of a design without hierarchy? What happens when you see a design without hierarchy, and what happens when you see a design with hierarchy?
It's the simple way to answer that is a design without hierarchy is a bad design.
Okay.
It's not even a design, in fact.
Like all the text content.
All the text content. Everything in the design is competitive. The image wants to show, the text wants to show, and then there's no alignment. There's
even trouble in viewing.
There's a trouble in viewing.
Okay. So what about a visual? What about a visual which has a design which has good hierarchy?
Good hierarchy, yeah. When you see such a design, you appreciate it. Now, a good design hierarchy. When you see a design that implements a good hierarchy, one of the things you would love about that design is you would be able to read the content in it very well. You will be able to interpret that design very well, and you'll be able to understand what that design is communicating. And all this makes it a good design. The fact that you can see it clearly, you can read it as readability, the fact that you can understand it, you understand the message is trying to pass across, and for the fact again that you can also enjoy the aesthetic.
Yes.
The aesthetic part of the design is far more important too. So those are the things that make it that way.
I have another question. You talked about the text being bold and the likes, like in your hierarchy.
Yes, sir.
What role does typography plays in your design process? How do you ensure readability across different medium, like all this typography now?
Yes,
what part do they play in your design that we can see and say yes?
Yeah, typography is just like, how do I put it now? Though it's not the only way of reaching out. Communicating the message, but it's play a vital role in communicating the message. In fact, any design you see that has images, look around, you will still see typo there.
I want to ask a question there now.
Yes, sir.
Are there design without typography?
Another dicey one.
No, let's let our viewers understand that is there design without typography and is there design with typography?
They are. They
Because
are.
sometimes when I see design without typography, I might call it a hat.
A hat.
But I don't know. You know, I'm not so vast in design and the like. Are they different? Like when there is no typography in a design, is it a hat? Or is it that typography that in that image that make it a design? What do you?
Okay. Now, what I will say is this. Like I said, interpretation and understanding the message is what is important.
Okay.
Many times there are many designers. See, there are very, very unique, top-notch designers I've seen, and I really look forward to meeting, and also we create, like, have an interaction with them. That's good. Now there are some designers I've met before that they don't use text. They just use, now remember the word, you being able to understand and interpret. So sometimes they do not use text to pass their message across. They use images. So in designs like that, you could just literally see someone doing someone. Though most of that design concept are always in photography.
Okay.
Yeah, most photographers use it a lot. They just try and create some. Even artists also use it a lot too. You can see an artist draw something like illustration, and they will not put any text there, but you know what that person is trying to say. So most of the times, text doesn't really mean that the design will not be fine. Not adding text, I mean, but that doesn't also mean that you not seeing text doesn't make it a design. It's still a design.
Okay. Now, I want to ask this question before we go, so that we will. How do you incorporate color theory into your design to invoke the right emotion and communicate the intended messages?
Oh, that's also a very nice one. Now, speaking about color theory, there's one thing personally, there's a principle about color theory that I use, and I also like to share with everyone, especially those who are coming into design. Now, one of the things about color theory is that you need to be very careful when it comes to color, because if you use the right set of colors, then you've spoiled your design already. Now, there are certain websites, there are certain platforms that host combination of colors.
Yeah.
Where you can go to get combination of different colors that aligns well. So you could just go to those websites, search them out, and pick some of their color combo, and then implement it. Just pick their color code. There's something called color code.
Yeah.
So you just copy their color code and implement it to your design and combine it that way. That is fine. But another way you can go about it, should in case you don't want to do something like that, there is a principle that guides me, and that principle is that whenever I'm using a bright color, I complement a bright color with a dark color.
Okay.
And whenever I use a dark color, I complement, like whenever I use a bright color as maybe the main color, perhaps maybe the focus, I try complementing that with something darker. It might be anything. And remember that color, when it comes to bright and dark color, red has a bright side and it also has a dark side. I hope you know, sir.
Yes, sir.
There is something called a color family. Color family is everything encompasses in a particular color. So red, as it stands, red is just like the most popular thing now, but it has a lot of color family. There are many families of red that is also in the aspect of dark, like dark colors too. So you could implement that and incorporate that into your design. So that is how I go about it. So that's the way I complement my color very well.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. I hope our viewers have learned one or two things, because I'm amazed. I'm even speechless, because I've learned one or two things from him, and which I will begin to implement. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Until we see you again, our viewers, we would like you to share, like, and follow this page so that we can reach out to more than this. Thank you very much. Till we meet again, we'll be discussing maybe branding, marketing, or whichever thing it is. Just keep following us and keep learning so that you become a better version of yourself in this tech world. Thank you once again. God bless you.